Hello, hello. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Do we have some, these Facebook Lives are always a little tiny bit tricky, but how is everything coming through for everybody? Let's make sure that we're functioning and that everything's working, and we'll get started. We will get started. I've got a crazy thing going on here, but let me know. Just type in, whoever's here on with us right now, just type in that you can hear us and see us and do all of that stuff. So let us know. We'll get started here in just a couple of moments. Excuse me. But we'll give everyone a little bit of a chance to get kind of logged in and functioning and so on. So let's get rocking and rolling here. Okay, so let's go. I'm just doing one last little adjustment here. We've got kind of a crazy screen situation going on, so I'm just trying to make sure that we've got this working, and then we'll take it from there. We will take it from there. Let me know as you guys get going here. Let me know that you can see my screen. I'm just doing, I forget the button I need to click on right here. But I think as long as we're over here, everyone should be able to see everything okay. Should be all right. Okay, guys, let's get going. Let's chat about what's happening over here, and let's just let's get doing this thing. Let's get doing this thing. So give me just a moment. We'll start here in just about two seconds. I'm just going to mute the audio for just a momento. Okay, Joy. Hello, Joy. Okay, guys. So we're going to talk a lot about some Forex trading stuff today. But we've got several people logging in and getting logged in, and they're having a couple of little login issues. So we're going to give everyone about another 2 or 3 or 4 moments here to get going, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So stay put. Have a little look at this screen for just a second, and then we will we'll get moving here. So just one moment. Okay, guys, just making sure that we have got all the details going here. I just want to give everyone just a moment to get logged in, and then we'll get scooting. We'll get scooting and scooting. So all right. Okay, so quick little screen test. Everyone see everything okay? Just type in a little something. Let me know that you can see the screen, that everything's coming through somewhat clear. It's always a little bit interesting when we use a different platform, but I think everything should be working okay. So if you guys can just type in, do you see where you can type in questions, comments, or just put a thumbs up if things are coming through clear for you? And I want to be able to see everybody's questions as well. So if you can just, everyone can just take a quick moment, peek around, see if you can find where to type in questions, comments, details, all of that. That would be perfect. Can you guys see? Type here. Is everyone able to see that? Can everyone see where you type? I just want to make sure everyone has a moment real quick. This will take us just a moment to get running here, but I want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to type in the details, find the question area. And just make sure everything's working. Make sure it's all working for everybody. Okay, so all right. Just taking a couple of moments here, guys. Make sure everything's going. Okay. One moment, guys. Joy, there's Joy. And then okay, all right. So I'm just getting a lot of questions over here. And okay, so welcome, guys. Like I said, I want to make sure everybody can find out where to type in questions, comments. We're getting I'm just getting a lot of emails here and a lot of people trying to figure out to make sure they're in the right spot. And I think we're ready to kind of get going here. So let's get started. This is, hello, Angela. Okay, gone short on gold on the daily. 4-hour charts look like head and shoulders. All right, good. I love it. Good questions. We'll get right to it. We will get right to it. I love it. Guys, see where Angela typed in her questions. I want to make sure everybody can find that, where you can type in your questions, and make sure we're good to go there. Okay, so let's get started officially. That's all right, Angela. That's good. I love it. Okay, so we're going to start with a little bit of this stuff right here. Just want to make sure that everybody is aware who we are, what we're doing, and so on. So welcome, everybody. I am Jared Johnson, and it is time for our live Forex Q&A. And what I wanted to do was, I do a lot of webinars. I do a lot of different things. And I just wanted to kind of give everybody, especially our Facebook community, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to have a chance to just ask questions and talk about what you're doing, what you're looking at, what's going on, and so on. And so that's why I just figured, usually I have very structured webinars. Usually we're looking at things like, there we go. We're looking at things like, there we are, very specific topics and so on. And I just wanted to kind of take this opportunity and say, you know what? Let's look at things a little more broadly and just answer the questions that you guys have and talk about the things that you guys want to talk about. So that's what we're doing. That's the whole goal and the purpose of today, is just say, hey, let's answer your questions. Let's discuss the things you guys want to cover. So that's why it's just a live Q&A. There's no super specific structure. It's just put in your questions, put in your comments. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Let's go for it. And it should be good stuff. Okay, so let's talk about real life trading. That is definitely something that we are going to cover today. So, as many of you know, and for maybe some of you that might be in for the first time with us, I'm a full-time trader. That's all I do. I trade. I talk to people about trading. I produce trade results. I do all of that stuff. And so, that's kind of my whole life. That's my whole day. And I spend a lot of time every day doing it. And okay, one second. So There we go. So as you know, as I spend my whole day and as I spend my whole professional career basically is spent trading, I talk about these topics and these items so much, and I sometimes forget that not everybody is super aware and super familiar with all this stuff. So that's why I'm doing a live Q&A today, to just say, let's hear what you guys want to talk about. These are things that I discuss every day with my trading group and with those around. And, and I just wanted to kind of give everybody a chance to bring up the questions you want to bring up. Drill me for any kind of information you want to get. I'll be happy to share whatever I can. I've got nearly, we're creeping up on 20 years of trading experience. I'm somewhere in the high teens. I'm kind of losing track at this point. But I've been around for a long time. I've been trading. I've been in this game for a long time. And I'm happy to share with you guys as much as you want to hear, and as much as we can kind of put together. So that is that's kind of the plan for today. So again, I want to hear your questions. Everybody just type in everything over here in the comments section. Since I'm sharing my screen, every time I go to my screen here, it's bringing up this crazy, endless loop of screen. But just type in your questions over here in the comment area. I want to hear them all. I want to bring up all that stuff, and then we'll kind of start talking about everything here. Here's a couple of little details about myself. I'm a family man. Here's the family, wife and a couple of kids and a crazy dog. And it's just, life is good. Life is good. So that's a little bit about me there. So here's a little bit about what I've been doing for, again, my whole professional career. I started trading in the very early 2000s. I always just say 15 plus years, because if I start to say 20 years, it makes me feel old. And, I remember being a kid and hearing people say, oh, it's been 20 years since I've seen so-and-so, or 20 years since this, that, or the other. And I'd always think, I'm like 7. 20 years sounds like a long time. So now it's been just about 20 years since I started trading, and it's a funny thought. For over 10 years, I've been training, consulting, running trade groups, helping investment funds kind of get the best out of their trading, and so on. So that's what I've been doing on the other part of it. And it's all been trading related stuff. And that's all I've done for, like I said, nearly 2 decades. Ooh. But I wanted to, like I said, our goal here, guys, is to, to think about what we can do to help you do more of this. Shake big bags of money. That's kind of the goal. We've got to shake big bags of money. So that's what we're trying to do here. No, we're trying to make some good profits. We're trying to trade successfully, and we just want to make sure that that we're doing a bang-up job with it. And there's a lot of things to do and a lot of things to not do that can help that process along. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. What can we do to help you guys have a more successful, profitable, enjoyable experience trading? So I want to talk about those things with you. Again, type in your questions, type in your comments. There we go, Isaac Kang finally found the comment section. Good. And I just want to make sure, I'm going to give everyone another moment here. Type in questions and comments here. So just kind of make sure that's coming through for everybody. So welcome everybody, welcome. We're getting people logged in here. A little bit of a process. So anyways, that's what we want to talk about today, what we can help you do to just be better at trading, to just have a better experience. So here are a couple of topics, right? I'm happy to answer anything you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, but here's a couple of just, I would say, frequently asked questions that I get. So, a few of these things: how is trading different from a day job? Now, I don't get asked that question specifically, but I get asked the roundabout version of it. I do want to talk about that for a moment, just kind of share a few things with you guys. Definitely I get asked a lot about long-term, short-term trading, the next big trading opportunity, my trading routine, indicators I use, technology I use, platforms I use, and so on. So that's kind of a couple of places we can get started. I know that everyone is still finding the comment area. Okay, there we go. People are giving it. Sakad wants to just have one strategy, please. Okay. All right. Art interested in euro dollar. Okay, good. Welcome, Art. Nice to see you, my friend. Isaac, good. Glad to have you. And Angela, okay, excellent. All right. So let's talk about Robert, my friend. Welcome. Welcome. We're getting this Facebook business going. So again, guys, here are just a couple of things to bring up. Like I said, I do want to talk about a couple of the next trading opportunities that are in the works, and some of that stuff. But bring your questions, type things in. Let's discuss what we are doing. Okay, so let's go back. A couple of questions have kind of popped up here. We have Angela asking about. Again, sorry about this crazy screen here. We have Angela that just said that she's shorting gold. And now by Angela, is this Angie? Is this Angie that's in the trade group, Angie? If it is, super happy to have you. If it's a different Angela, then welcome. Welcome anybody. Welcome everybody. But Angela, let's talk about gold for a second. And I'm going to use this opportunity. Whoops, I think I missed half your question here. I'm going to use this opportunity to talk just a little bit about my trading methodology and style as well, when we kind of bring up the gold situation here. Okay. There we go. One second. So what we want to, oh yeah, there we go. Thanks, Angela. Nice to see it. So you just mentioned here that you're short on gold. The daily 4-hour charts look to me like head and shoulders pattern. Now it's gone up. Two very bullish looking candles. All right. So Angie here's asking about gold, and I think, like I said, this is a good opportunity. Some of you might say, well, I can't trade gold or I don't trade gold. And that's okay, because this is a good opportunity to say, how we should approach something like this, right? So Angie is saying that she shorted gold. And for anybody that's new to trading, shorting means you're trading it down, you're selling something, you're looking for a movement down. And so that being the case, we have to, there we go, we have to kind of look at this, and we have to say, how should we approach everything here, right? How should we look at, if we're ever trading anything, what do we want to do with that, right? And what I always tell people in my trade groups, for example, and in everything that we do, we've got to go to large time frames. And we've got to make sure that we've got the big picture in mind. So regardless of whether or not you're short-term or long-term, one second, guys. I'm just getting 100 questions over here about getting logged into this. Okay. Just have my assistant here helping that out. So whether you're a short-term or long-term trader, you've really got to get the big picture always. And as you guys have probably heard me say a lot of times, we're just trying to find a couple of basic things, right? Where, what's the trend of whatever we're trying to trade? You know, what do we have for targets and where are the key levels, right? So that's really what it always comes down to, is these three things. What's our trend? Where's our key levels, and what kind of targets do we have to work with? So Angie, and I don't, I will try not to throw any kind of gas on the fire here or anything, but if you look at this, you're shorting gold, which I don't think is a bad idea, but if we look at it from this perspective right here, here is a weekly chart. This is a pretty long-term chart. And so if we're trading something like this, what we have right here in gold is a pretty good uptrend, and then we have a long-term rounded bottom right here. That's called a rounded bottom, and I love chart patterns, right? Chart patterns are so great, and when you get a rounded bottom, that's pretty bullish. That's kind of saying, okay, that long-term uptrend has been trying to kind of hammer out those lows, and it's time for a continuation. We know it's time for a continuation higher when, at the rounded bottom, we break resistance right there. So resistance has been broken, and away we go. Now we have, from that rounded bottom and that resistance breakout, we have this move higher, right? So, you know, our key levels or kind of patterns and so on is key levels, key patterns, all of that stuff are kind of the same thing. And this is a nice pattern. This is a bullish pattern right here. And now we have some good kind of support and resistance levels, right? This has been something significant in the market. It stopped gold from going higher. It stopped it from going lower here, stopped it from going lower here, here, until it broke out. And it broke out, by the way, in 2013. It broke back below this level that it tested for 2 years, broke back below, and it spent 6 years below that level, and it came back up and hit it. Now, here's a good reason for being short gold, is trading off this level. I think our better opportunity is to short gold from a little bit of a higher price, right? Something like this area right up here, this 1555, 1560 zone. If you're down, you know, maybe if you're shorting it at 1500, you're going to have a challenge, because this could potentially go against you, you know, $50 in gold terms before you have any idea of, you know, what might happen. We always want to try to trade around these decision points, right? And that decision point is going to look something like that. So we want to trade around those decision points. And, you know, if you're shorting gold right here, the closer you can get into this strong, intense level, even if it's a short-term trade, the better off you're going to be, because if it pushes above that, you can kill the trade quickly and say, I was wrong, I'm done, it's over with, right? But when we're talking about targets here, we've still got a pretty good hardcore target up here at about 1650, which I think could still very much get hit. So we have to really, you know, just like anybody else, I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know what probabilities are telling us. They're just saying, hey, get in as close to a significant level as possible. You can see gold had a pretty major reaction. It hit that 1555, which is a 6-year level, and it bounced all the way down to 1487. That's a lot of money to be made, right? Just right in that movement right there. Now we've got some lower targets, we've got some upper targets. We're kind of waiting and watching and looking for some confirmation. So I always look for these things, and then I try to just kind of dial it down to lower and lower and lower time frames. Really bullish chart here on gold. You know, been making some pretty big pushes and pretty intense moves higher. Not a ton of lower targets on gold, for at least in the near term. There are some lower targets, but there's not a ton, and we've got a strong uptrend. So, you know, this would be kind of a case of maybe stay with the trend a little bit more, wait for that reaction around that 1555, 1560. The markets are, you know, at the same time, the markets are a little bit sideways, so chances are, you know, things probably aren't going to run away without you too much, but they are, you know, it doesn't mean that it's not going to put up a little bit of a fight. So, does that kind of answer the question there a little bit? Does that help? Oh, we're getting lots of comments now. Good, good. Okay, in at 15:05. Gotcha. Daniel McCork, welcome, Daniel. Nice to see you. Hello. Hi, Jim. Good to see you. Yes. So we've got some, you know, some good trends, some good levels to work with, and so on. So hopefully that helps just a little bit. Art wants to know about euro dollar, and Daniel wants to know about dollar yen. Happy to chat about all of those. Guys, does everybody know how and where to type in your questions? Can everybody see where to do that and how to do that and so on? Let's talk about euro dollar. Let's talk about dollar yen. Two goodies. So for the euro dollar, first of all, anyone that's kind of trading this little situation here, our euro dollar has some interesting elements here. Oh, pardon me. We've got some interesting stuff in the works on this euro dollar. It's coming right into this big zone here, right? And it's kind of in. It's spent a good chunk of time, you know, June 2017 to really getting back into this January 2019. It spent a lot of time up here. It's, you know, there's a descending channel. There's a, you know, a couple of things happening here. But what I've kind of been interested in the euro dollar is some of this, you know, upward consolidation. You can see that something has been happening here on euro dollar. This is kind of our you know, our halfway mark here. It's kind of held these lower areas. We're kind of back into that. And so I've just been watching to kind of see, you know, how this nice psychological level of 110 is going to be able to hold. Can 110 hold? Will 110 hold? Is it enough, you know, to kind of keep this market at bay? And so there's kind of our our 110-ish area. So I'm really looking for the reaction at 110. It's a big, like I said, psychological level for the euro dollar. So that's been kind of one thing that I'm, you know, really specifically looking at here. That is okay. Oops. There we go. All right. Okay, perfecto. Hold on here, guys. So that is the that's kind of the first approach I'm going to take here. And then you know, with euro dollar, we've got a pretty solid channel, here that has been in play. Also, you know, taking us back about a year and a half. And so we're kind of coming off the bottom of the channel, coming off the bottom of support. You know, we're kind of in this area where I think the euro dollar has a good opportunity to potentially, you know, start to kind of break out and start to give us, hopefully, you know, a little bit of, I mean, again, all we can do is kind of manage our probabilities, right? Just kind of look at what's happening here. And that's why I've kind of marked this stuff in here. We've got this nice double bottom here on euro dollar. And so it's almost a little bit of a, you know, this is why I'm a little bit bullish euro dollar right now. It's kind of a, you know, we're trying to work on something here. I think if these levels can kind of hold through here, that we've hopefully got a little bit of a short-term inverse head and shoulders pattern for this to kind of start working its way higher. So getting out of this short-term guy right here, this descending channel right there will be pretty significant. So getting above that is going to be kind of the bullish factor that we need on euro dollar. If it makes too much of a run below kind of the mid 109s, I think we could be headed down into 108, 107, you know, something like that. So yep, that's kind of the area I would look for euro dollar. So just kind of, you know, bumping through this area, and you know, we're right at 110. That's why this just keeps hitting right there. That's just a perfect psychological level. If that can hold and we can get any kind of, you know, bullish sentiment on this pair, some bearish movement on the dollar, then so it goes. It's been kind of interesting for those of you that have maybe been trading for a little while. We had interest rate news fairly recently. Typically, an interest rate cut means currency weakness, and an interest rate hike means currency strength. And we've kind of seen the exact opposite happen lately. So, you know, there's that. But all in all, I think we've got some good possibilities here. Does that kind of help, Art? Does that answer questions? You feel okay about that? Welcome, Mel. Good to see you, my friend. I know some people have been having some issues getting logged into the Facebook Live. I apologize. I don't use this as much, but I wanted to try a different platform today. So we'll all be better at it for next time. Okay, everyone feel okay about that? Good. That's right. Absolutely. Yep. The political situation is definitely making it interesting for trading. You know, with the China deal, with central banks around the world going nuts on interest rates, all of this stuff is really just changing the game in trading. So we've got to be very kind of nimble with this market. We've got to be doing things and you know, able to change with the changing market. That's just really what has to happen. So yeah, it was a challenge. Okay, good, Art. Good. I wish I could I wish I could disconnect this part without stopping showing my screen. Anyway, okay, somebody else, let's see. I saw Daniel was asking about dollar-yen buy. Daniel, you know, I'll be honest, I don't trade the dollar-yen a lot, but I've got things to say about the dollar-yen that I'd be happy to kind of share with you. So anybody that's kind of watching the dollar-yen, trading it, I must have gotten rid of my lines here. I think I did. Dollar-yen has had a pretty intense, you know, again, if we go back, I always go to the weekly chart, and I strongly recommend you guys do the same thing. Try to get very familiar with these weekly charts, because we've got to see where these big levels are, right? Where these kind of, you know, where is something operating within? And we've got the dollar-yen that is very much, you know, operating inside of this kind of zone right here. And you know, these levels are so important to just make sure we're super up to speed on them and so on. So dollar-yen, I do think is a decent buying opportunity, but I like it closer to, again, a significant level. Right now, dollar-yen can do anything. It can do anything at once, right? One thing I like to talk about is just being on, you know, if we're looking for kind of a trend trade or whatever we're looking for, trying to get some sort of really good reason to trade that direction. So as I mentioned on gold, I really like, you know, a lot of my trading is based around find good targets that the market's going to go to, good levels that can hold or that have recently broken out to kind of give us that signal of a direction. And then find you know, some really good targets to trade towards, right? And dollar-yen doesn't have too many upper targets to trade towards, right? We really just see the dollar-yen in a big channel for the last 2 years. So it's really been channeling for the last 2 years. Now, it could just be headed to the top of the channel, and that's okay. We could see that happen. But, you know, there's a lot of support. We have a nice little triple bottom right here. That's all the way at 105. We're at 107.50, so we're far enough away from this that if you were thinking about buying the dollar-yen, which, again, may not be a bad idea, there's not, again, for the kind of trading that I do, there's not a lot of solid upper targets that tell me that I want to be long dollar-yen. But if you did want to do something like that, you know, getting this a little bit closer to 105 and looking for something like that so that you can have some, you know, some medium risk invalidation points, stop losses, whatever you want to use down there. You don't have to get it all the way back to 105, but get it pretty close. You know, if you can get within 50 or 100 pips of that area, that way you can, really kind of minimize that risk, and you can scale into your trades and do all of that. But dollar yen is just totally in a sideways channel. And I think, remember the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc are two currencies that when there's fear in the market, these show strength. And when there is, when the market is somewhat risk on, these will show weakness. And we see that kind of thing happen or actually change on almost a daily basis. We see, we call it the risk on or the risk off trade. And we've seen risk on, risk off, risk on, risk off. And so I think the dollar yen is going to be very choppy and very difficult to trade probably over the next little while until we start getting this thing breaking out. If it breaks below here, we have a pretty clear signal. If this gets below 105, we've got a pretty clear signal of what could happen. If it gets above, 114, we'll have a pretty clear signal. Anything in the middle of 105 to 114 is just going to be anybody's guess. I mean, look what it's done so far. So it's just chop, chop, some bigger, better swings, and then just a lot of chop. So I think we'll probably see some more of that happen. So I probably don't have a dollar yen trade myself planned anytime soon, but as long as you know the areas and you can kind of manage that whole situation, it should be helpful. Should be helpful. Does that help, Daniel? That answer your questions? That give you a little bit to work with there? How about you, Isaac? Any questions, Isaac? Any questions from anybody out there? Jim? Anything else? Angie, from you? Mel, Art? Oh, there we go. Triple bottom, but consolidating. Yes, yes. Hey, Corey. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. Corey, we want risk on. We need risk on. We need to see these things go nuts. But yeah, risk on. But it changes on a daily basis. It absolutely changes on a daily basis. Robert Poindexter, good to see you, my friend. How do you know how to determine if price is likely to hit our first target, like 200 EMA, or continue to further targets before a large retracement? Hold on, let's see some more of that question. Targets like missed pivots or further key levels when you hold further targets. Definitely only gets 200 EMA. Okay, if I cut the trade at 200 EMA, it usually goes to the further target. That's a good question. Good question. So Robert's kind of asking in the way of our, I've got my 200 EMA trade that I've been doing for a really long time, right? Which is basically, the market running for long periods of time away from the 200 EMA, and and when do we use that as a target? When do we use other things as a target? Robert, it always comes back to this exact chart right here. It always comes back to this kind of thing where we where we want to look at these kinds of things. Where were we? We were on gold. These are the elements that are required. We have to understand this stuff so that we can know which targets to aim towards, right? If you want to get out of a short-term target or a long-term target, which one's it going to hit? And it's going to depend on these three things, as well as a few other things, which I can go into also. But these few things right here are going to help us determine if we should be, looking at a shorter-term trade or a longer-term trade. If you're saying, hey, that 200 EMA is 20 pips away and that pivot's 50 pips away, we need to see this big picture first. Even if you're trading a 5-minute chart, even if you're trading a 1-minute chart, go to this weekly chart, go to the daily chart, and find these major key levels first, because that's going to help you determine whether or not you should be holding on to a short-term trade or maybe trying to give it a few more pips and maybe even staying in it overnight or whatever. Now, keep in mind, part of that is also going to depend on your mentality, right? Your psychology, your brain, I guess. Because some people just say, I cannot walk away from a chart if I have a trade running. I, on the other hand, sleep like a baby at night. I, go surfing. I do whatever while I have trades running, and it doesn't bother me. So because I give things a little bit more space to move and so on. If you're just saying, hey, I'm looking for 10 or 20 or 30 pips, that's it, then, probably your best bet's always going to be just to take that shorter term target. But if you go to these bigger time frames and you say, okay, there's nothing but clearness ahead, something hasn't run too far. One thing that I'll look at, let's say you're on a 15-minute chart and you're trading towards a 200 EMA or something like that, right? And it's run 30 or 40 pips, and you're thinking, oh, this thing's going to pull back and it's going to dump me out and so on. I look for things like, has this move left a couple of missed pivots? Do I have a few missed pivots here? If I do, I am going to try to get out of that as quick as possible, because I'm going to be looking for this to start coming back to some of those missed pivots before continuing on. If it's been a steady move, something a little bit more maybe like this right here, and on a shorter time frame, whatever time frame that is, and it looks like it's kind of been a stable kind of, I call these the the grind higher. Then you can oftentimes stay in those trades for a little bit longer because it's a little bit more of a steady run. But yeah, if you have something that's real aggressive and it's leaving some missed targets, some market imbalances, and some missed pivots down below, get out of that quickly, because chances are it will retrace on you. I hope that helps, Robert. I hope that helps. Good. Hey, Corey, yeah, no worries, man. And Corey, if you got Marcy over there, tell her hi for me. I see, my wife, always says, we should set up like a couple's Facebook account. And I always tell her, I don't know if I can handle getting bombarded with advertisements of, interior designing stuff or whatever she always looks at. So, good. It's, obviously, Facebook is just, I don't even hardly know how to use the darn thing. Okay, so SACAD, New Zealand dollar. Let's look at New Zealand dollar here. And by the way, while I'm chatting about this, I'd love to hear where you guys are from. Everyone just type in, where are you from? Where's everyone joining us from? So SACAD, here is, and apologies if I'm saying your name wrong. Definitely giving it my best shot here. So if you're looking at New Zealand dollar, decision point galore right here. This is where the New Zealand dollar is going to tell us what it's going to do. So I'm on a big long-term chart. This is a big support level that really takes us all the way back to October 2008. This was the big market sell-off, the big panic. Here's 2009 where everything bottomed out and started taking off the other direction. So this 6,200-ish, low 6,200s is really kind of the tell-all level. So what we'd be looking for here is what's going to happen, and do we have reasons to believe that this can continue higher, right? So we've seen New Zealand dollar coming down. We have some good targets up here. We've got some good missed pivot points, some market imbalances, good things that I look at, targets that I think are really, really good and really effective. So I would say that either the New Zealand dollar needs to make a bit of a convincing run below, let's go over here to the weekly chart, below 6,200, and probably we need to see something like this happen, right? We need to see it go below, come back up, retest this 6,200 area, hold it, and then continue down. So I wouldn't even try to trade a break of 6,200. I would make sure it's a real convincing move down by maybe 100 or 200 pips and let that pull back and hold that support level, the bottom side of that support level, before even trying to get short New Zealand dollar. On the buy side, I'm usually 99.9% of the opinion that when we hit 10-year highs and 10-year lows, that's usually a good place for markets to turn around and start heading back in the other direction. We've got a massive channel on this, a 10-year channel on New Zealand dollar. The upper area is about 2,600 pips up here. We're triple bottoming at a 10-year low. Probably a good area for this thing to start heading higher. But we do need to see some, some market sentiment that's going to get it there. And that's why I'm just kind of looking at this short-term channel. I'm saying, okay, it's just a handful of pips away from that big low right there. So, you know, keep on going lower if you want. But let's see if this, you know, kind of hits this area and starts to give us some breakouts and starts breaking out of this short-term descending 1 hour channel, and you know, can kind of hold on to that 6,200-ish area and start to head higher. We got a lot of great targets. This is a great target area up here, and you know, we've got some really, really good areas to be watching New Zealand dollar head higher. So 6,200, we're not too far away from it. You know, 6,200, 6,220 is a pretty good decision point for me. But I would lean towards seeing this move higher. Okay. Corey, I hear you. I know. I'm with you on that. Best to keep it that way, absolutely. Okay, does that help, Sakad? Does that answer your question? Okay, so good. And sorry, Jim. Hopefully you're still on here with us. Didn't mean to skip your question here. How does a bull flag help us? Bull flags are great chart patterns. Bull flags, bear flags, those are really, really good chart patterns for us to be looking at. So, hi, wife. I think my wife just logged in. She's going to participate in our discussion this morning. Okay, so Sakad, are you good? Does that make sense? Everything good there? Okay, so New Zealand dollar. Jim, let's talk for 2 seconds about a bull flag. Where did we have a bull flag? We had a bull flag over here. So here's a nice little bull flag. This is Euro Aussie. A bull flag is a great little pattern that you know, that we only want to use with market conditions that seem to be pretty aggressively doing, you know, trending, right? We have this this Euro Aussie right here that's a really, really good example of a bull flag. Pretty aggressive run up and then consolidation, right? So the way we would trade something like this is telling us that we should see a push higher, right? Into there. Stops below here, buy the break, and typically what we're going to be looking for here is we call these like symmetry or a measured movement here, where you look for that type of a push. And it's actually pretty interesting. We have a good target up here about 16400, but we're looking at that movement. We're measuring it from the low of this consolidation to give us a target of how far we would expect this to go. So for example, if this breaks out at 163, we'd expect it to go to about 164. So that's kind of how a bull flag works. Just a strong move up, some consolidation, a break of that consolidation. We look for the equal movement that was the first strong movement to repeat on the breakout. Does that make sense? Does that help? That's probably a crazy, go for it, both flags. I got the coolest wife. She's, you know, I've been married for 10 wonderful years, and I don't think that my wife has ever sat in on a webinar because I don't ever invite her. So I'm glad she's joining us today. It's adding some goodness here. So we're happy to have her. Okay, so does that help, Jim? Are you good on that? Is that and for anybody that maybe has never traded a bull flag or is kind of looking at some of that stuff there. Everyone good on that? Any questions about bull flags? Okay, all right. I will move on. But I do want to hear all your questions. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear the details. Let's make sure. Okay, good, Jim. Good. All right, yeah, and I forgot to mention where everybody's from here. So yeah, tell us where you're from, guys. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Corey, that's solid living out there, man. San Diego for Mel, always a beautiful spot. What about everyone else? Sakad, where are you from? Angie, I think you're in Australia. Robert, I think I've chatted with you before, Robert, but I can't remember where you're from. So let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it. Angie's asking a little bit about Aussie Swiss and New Zealand yen. Aussie Swiss is nothing short of a favorite of mine. It's coming down a bunch. I think Aussie Swiss is going to be a pretty good opportunity down in this zone here. So again, guys, you see me just going to the weekly chart constantly because that's the chart we have to be trading from. That's the long-term area that we need to be working with. Aussie Swiss has a really, really good channel right here. It's been in this channel for, you know, several years as well. We have a big double bottom at historic lows, which is a big deal, right? So this big double bottom right here at these historic lows tell us that we would definitely expect some movement, you know, away from this 6550, 6600 area. And we've seen that. We had, you know, on a shorter term chart here, you can see we had kind of a triple bottom, nice little run up. We've got some good little targets up here to aim towards. A lot of missed pivots in this area. So I think you know, this kind of falls into, you know, going back over here. You know, what's one of the big next trading opportunities that I see? And honestly, Aussie Swiss is probably one of them. I think Australian pairs have a lot of potential. A lot of the Aussie pairs have been coming down for quite a while, right? Since early last year, we've seen a lot of downward movement on Aussie pairs. You can see that this takes us. I mean, this really takes us. This is 2 solid years of downward movement on this Aussie Swiss. 2 years of moving down into the all-time low to create a double bottom. What's the thing we should be doing here? Unequivocally, I don't really know if that's said correctly. I don't know if that's even a word. We have to be getting long Aussie Swiss. I think this is one of the big opportunities that is facing that we could take advantage of this year. Because whenever you have something like that, you know, a sideways channel coming down for 2 years, hitting an all-time low, double bottoming, showing us a good reaction. This is something, guys, that you want to be getting long and you want to be buying into. I think Aussie Swiss is probably one of the best looking setups for big opportunities this year. Now, the difference that we're going to have here is we're going to have a little bit, hi Sage and Joe, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Yeah. Jim, are you really in Petaluma? I don't know if why did I think I've been there. It's a beautiful spot. South Texas for art, awesome. Oh, and Truckee, California. Oh, it's a great spot, Dorothy. So guys, you know, major trading opportunity here. Major trading opportunity here on Aussie Swiss because. You know, when we're at these kinds of levels, whenever we can find a currency that's at an all-time high or an all-time low, it is a big deal. It's a big deal, and it's something that we need to work with and we need to do some trading with around there. Now, the Australian dollar is kind of a risk-on commodity type pair, and so if the market is feeling a little bit panicked, the Australian dollar will suffer. And at the flip side, the Swiss franc, the other side of this trade, will strengthen. So the setup is great, but the dynamics with this currency pair are going to be tricky, right? Because whenever the market panics, or if it has a big panic, we are going to see the Aussie Swiss, you know, make moves down. But there is, I mean, even if Aussie Swiss breaks below 6,500, there's no scenario or situation where I would sell this, short it, try to trade it down. Just no situation. Only thing I'd be looking to do is buy dips on this. 2-year downward movement, all-time lows, double bottom. There's no scenario for me to short this. So I think the Aussie Swiss is one of these great opportunities for sure. Great opportunities. Oh, that's right, Robert. Yeah, Huntington Beach, native, fellow neighbor there. That's right. Thanks, Corey. Thank you. So did I say it right? Unequivocally. Oh, unequivocally. Oh no, there's no B on the end of it. Unequivocally. I don't know. My poor English language is suffers. Thank you, Corey. Thank you. Okay, okay, good, good. Uh, oh, gotcha, Jim. Okay, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. Okay, so I think those are some things that we're looking for. One thing that I want to talk to you about for a second, guys, is a lot of traders are in need of some help, right? You can see what these charts are doing. You can see kind of what type of strategy I look at and what type of thing I do. Just by those three simple steps we talked about: trends, targets, and our key levels. And so, kind of having that whole thing in play. It keeps us all as traders on the right track. I'm going to do more of these Q&As for sure. I'll do lots more of them, but there's a lot of small things that make huge differences, and that is super duper important. So small things that make a big difference can really affect your trading in the long term. I talk a lot about trading psychology, and I talk a lot about strategies and so on. Most of the time, people have a hard time sitting through things that are that you're supposed to do, the things that actually work in trading. And this is why an overwhelming majority of traders are not successful, is because they cannot comfortably do what is required to be done in trading. And so what I want to make sure that you guys can do is have an opportunity to know what needs to be done to trade profitably and successfully. I've been trading for 20 plus or for almost 20 years. And it's my gig, it's my job, and I know how to help you guys achieve success, and I know how to help you be successful at this. But a lot of times things feel counterintuitive. It feels like I'm doing the wrong thing, and so on. A lot of people talk to me about trend trading, and they say I got to do some trend trading, and trend trading means I've been watching a currency pair go up for the last 2 weeks, and so now I'm ready to start buying it. And so all of those things that we do can be wrong and can be hurtful to our accounts. And so what we have to do is we have to look for these opportunities to do the hard things that need to be done so that we can successfully trade. So for that reason, I occasionally from time to time I'll give people an opportunity to have a quick phone call with me, just a quick one-on-one call, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Chat about your strategy, chat about what I think is the most important thing to do in trading, and then see if we can get you on a better track to being more profitable. So the way to schedule a free phone call with me, just a free phone call, there's no obligation, there's no nothing. The way to schedule a free phone call with me is to just go to this link right here, DayTradersFX.com, which is my website, and application form. If you just decide you want to go to DayTradersFX.com, you can click actually that's not the one right there. You can click on this Learn More up here, and that'll take you to the application form, or you can just go type in DayTradersFX.com/application-form, and it'll just tell me a little tiny bit about yourself, and we will get a phone call set up with you. Now, of course, if you are a member of one of my live trading groups, you basically have a phone call with me twice a week, during our live webinars. But if you're not a member of the trade group, and you feel like you want a couple of tips and a couple of personalized pointers to help get you on the right track with trading profitably and successfully, go to this link. Go to DayTradersFX.com/application form, or just go to the website and click in the Learn More in the upper area here. But check that out. Let's get things going, and let's get a phone call scheduled with you guys so that we can get you on the right track there. Justin, my friend, good to see you, Mr. Jackman. So go to the website. We'll get a call set up, just a quick call, and I will see what I can do to help you get on track and get things going. So when you put your information in there, my assistant will contact you and just get a time and a date worked out for a quick phone call. Okay. What do you guys think? More questions? More comments? Is everybody out of steam? Everyone out of gas? Have we sufficiently covered everything? How's everybody feeling about all that? You guys feeling good, bad, in the middle? I think, one of the best trading opportunities, best looking trading opportunities we have for this year is probably Aussie Swiss. I think, looking at the strategy that we've talked about, as you guys have seen me do, many times here, go to those long-term charts. Stay away from, trying to get today's picture we only remotely care about. This decade's picture we care about a lot. So get this big long-term picture here, and then, for example, guys, if I look at this Aussie Swiss and I say, holy smokes, this thing is, a big perfect double bottom. It's at the bottom of the channel and it's at its all-time lows. I look at that and I say, okay, I should probably only try to trade this thing higher. That's probably all I should be doing. So if you're a short-term trader and you're saying, I don't care about weekly charts, well, you have to care about weekly charts. You always have to. Doesn't matter what time frame you trade. You have to care about long-term charts because this is what's going to keep us on track with things. But if you're just saying, I don't care about that, for my own personal, trading, it's fine for analysis, but for trading, I'm not going to be looking at those long time frames. Then you can dial down to some of these smaller charts. You can say, well, hey, for example, Aussie Swiss, here's a great little target down here at 66.75. Maybe it's going to run down to that, and maybe I can find some short-term trend lines that I can trade some breakouts from, perhaps a 5-minute, a 15-minute chart. I know I want to be trading it up, so that's what I need to be doing. And as I kind of look at these charts and these time frames, I can say, well, maybe this kind of chart ends up doing something like this. And let's just say it goes like this, right? And hits that low. Well, you might have to come back to this in a couple of days, right? But when you do come back to it in a couple of days, hopefully it's kind of had its bottoming out factor, and now it's ready and able to do that, right? And you can say, okay, I can trade that from a 15-minute chart, I can trade that from an hour chart, I can trade that from wherever I need to trade it from. But that's the kind of movement that we want to be looking for. That's the kind of stuff we want to be doing. So try to stay in the overall direction of the market. There's going to be some opportunities to trade against the trend and trade, against the overall direction that we want to be trading, but try to stay in the overall direction of what we think things should be doing. Even though the Aussie Swiss has been going down, you could say this is a downtrend, so we should be selling the Aussie Swiss. Yeah, a year ago we should be selling the Aussie Swiss. Today we should be looking only for opportunities to be buying this. So try to stay in the direction of that. That'll keep you on track. That'll keep you out of trouble. That'll hopefully help you out a lot. Keep you going in the right direction. Okay, good. Thanks, Angie. Thanks. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me, too. I try to keep these webinars around an hour so I don't talk everyone's ears off. But let me know thoughts, questions, comments you have. Head over to daytradersfx.com/application-form or just daytradersfx.com. And in fact, I'm going to post this in the comments area. Get a free call scheduled with me, guys. I'll chat with you happily. And, we can get a quick assessment of where you are and where you might need to go and if we can help you get there. So go over there, put in your name, your phone number. No one's going to harass you. These aren't going to be crazy sales calls. It's just you and me talking and seeing if we can get your trading improved and on a better track. So I think that's it for me, guys. Do you guys have any questions, any comments, any details that we want to cover before we wrap up today? Anything? If that's it, then we'll leave it at that. But I'm super happy that I had a chance to spend a little bit of time with you guys today. My apologies for those that were unable to get logged in. I know we had a few, and you maybe were watching this recording, and I'm sorry if you couldn't get logged in. That's always it always is frustrating and it stinks. But happy to have you guys. Nice to be with everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, everybody. It's 7 a.m. over here. It's time to move on to something else. Have a great Saturday, guys, and a great weekend, and we'll have have more of these live sessions next week and coming up. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Thanks again for being on with us. Take care, guys. We will see you all. Thanks, Jim. Nice of you to say, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And thank you, Jim. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend as well. Take care, guys.